Hello, everybody. This is Kimchi Crypto. Today, I'm going to talk about this time may be different. Let's dive in. SpaceX moves $150 million in Bitcoin after 3-year dormancy, Arkham said. Well, is it this true? Truth to be told, nope. This is notable as it marks the first on chain activity in over 3 years since mid 2022. Blockchain experts believe this was an internal treasury reshuffle, likely for cold storage security or a restructure, not an outright sale. SpaceX still reportedly holds around 7,000 Bitcoin, worth around $800 million in holdings on Coinbase Prime. In short, no. They just moved a big chunk of Bitcoin but didn't sell it. Even if they did so, it won't make a huge impact on the market, especially in this bullish sentiment market. Usually, this type of FUD is effective in a bear market or when we are in downtrend. JP Morgan Chase explores lending skilled by client cryptocurrencies. They are considering plans to allow clients to borrow against their crypto holdings as early as next year. This move signals a broader acceptance of crypto assets by traditional financial institutions. As we all know, JP Morgan has been very JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon has been a very naysayer of Bitcoin, but they regard crypto as quality collateral for lending. What a change. Crypto lending will commence as early as next year. So I thought to myself, if 2026 is a bear market according to 4-year Bitcoin halving cycle, can JP Morgan accept crypto as collateral? Well, some thought to think about. What if this uptrend is the beginning of beginnings? Trump media's $2 billion Bitcoin buy challenges halving cycle wisdom of Bitcoin peaking in 2025 this year. Their Bitcoin purchase is likely a signal of impending macroeconomic tailwinds. Bitcoin's price has historically followed a 4-year cycle with price surges post-halving, but the presence of a pro-crypto president could alter this pattern. What if this time is different? AKA, what if this time is a super cycle? This time may be different. The notion that history must repeat itself in Bitcoin's cycles requires reassessment this time due to a key differentiator: the presence of a pro-crypto president and his 3 sons. Let's hear what they're talking about and why they, argue this type of thing. Given President Donald Trump's repeated public criticisms of Fed Chairman Jerome Powell and high interest rates, this high-profile Bitcoin acquisition by the Mr. US President linked group likely suggests a clear strategic play, a bet on forthcoming rate cuts, and a potential debasement of the US dollar. This makes sense, and most central banks lowered rates already. Federal Reserve is the last man standing right here. So when Fed lowers its interest rates, more rate cuts, plus in the United States, the SLR easing. It's a supplementary leverage easing, and this is type of the easing, liquidity easing procedure for those US major banking companies to lend more money to players, to the economic players, and buy more US treasuries, which is good for liquidity. Plus, Clarity Acts. This has passed in the US House, and this will be passed in the US Senate as early as August, maybe in September. Anyway, these all combined will, induce A market explosion could be, right? Federal Reserve's rate cuts also, this will induce other central banks around the world to lower more rates and print endless amount of money once again. These all, combined, this tailwind can make stock and crypto market to go much higher from here. When you take a look at this year's remaining FOMC meeting schedules, July, well, it is not likely for Federal Reserve to cut rates in July. Maybe September, October, and December. There's no meeting in November. As of now, 2 or 3 rate cuts are expected, starting from September. Jerome Powell's term as a Fed chair ends in May next year. And no matter who might be elected as the next Fed chair, all those candidates are the person of the Mr. Trump. And they are all dovish. Dovish King is likely to be the next Federal Reserve chairman from June next year, and then it's like a competition who will lower rates more, who will print more money. And then just think of the midterm election in November next year. Well, as you know, Mr. Trump is the person who thinks the market pump could be one of his great achievements as US president. Thinking all those, altogether, maybe 4-year cycle can be broken. Who knows exactly? Our strategy, however, should not focus on predictions on the date and price targets, etc. Rather, we'd better be ready for both scenarios. Regardless of the results, we can still make money. This is how we have to do it. I mean, how to survive and just win this whole battle. I'd better stick to the original play, such as checking out the major indicators, Coinbase app rank bots, and RSIs, ISM, all those major indicators, and then I would rather hold up with selling my crypto assets a couple more times in order to sell at much higher prices. When market is heated up, when Coinbase app rank bot says Coinbase app is on in the top 10, top 5, top 3, and then I will sell it at multiple times for sure. And I will cash out and chill. And I would not check out the coins I sold. Because when it goes up, I feel terrible about it. And when it goes down, there's nothing I can do. I'd rather buy more when the market crashes once again. But I would not buy the dip just right after I sell all my crypto holdings. Rather than that, I'd be chill out. I'd be very patient until the market crashes once again. Because when it goes up, when it pumps, and it usually dumps, and when it goes sideways, there's not a single asset on the planet that it goes forever. It pumps forever. There's not a single asset such like that. So you can buy the dip only with 30, 40, 50% of your previous gains in the past. More than 50% of gains must be out of your exchange, out of your frequently used bank accounts. It should be somewhere else's, out of your reach. In so doing, with 30, 40, 50% gains of your previous gains, you can still enjoy gambling till the end of next year. By doing so, you don't need to predict the exact future, exact price or date whatsoever, but you can still protect your return on investments. The key here has been always how to control your greed. It's not something else's. Remember, the most important thing is when you sell those assets, you can still enjoy the gambling with the remaining 30, 40, 50% of your previous gains. That's the point here. Thank you for listening.